YouTubers, this is Charles and John from our tiny cabin project. We want to welcome you to our cabin. Quick little video update to show you what we've done. First I want to point out this nifty little moth right here, kind of all tripadelic. Isn't that cool? Another neat little thing is, even though, as some of you know, that crazy son of a bitch that shot up our cabin, we got some of the damage repaired, but it's a slow and eager process. We did put some plexiglass up on the inside, but in the meantime, until next visit, when we come out and I replace the panes of the glass, a bird has decided to make it its little home, and there's a finch that has nested in here and decided to stake claim. So hopefully our babies will be hatched and flown away by the time we come back. We do have now security on the premises for both intruders of multitudes of sorts, a little wasp trap. It's not very effective, but it looks pretty. We also have, throughout our property, hidden cameras in different distinct locations. I'll just show you where one of them is, up in the trees. So that way, if anybody decides to come poking around, we'll find out who's been on the property. On our last visit we came out, we decided to start building a fire pit. And we're going to make this little area right here, the social area. And I made a couple benches out of some reclaimed wood that was old deck wood that we found in South St. Louis. We cleared out this area. I'm going to eventually build a deck here and put a permanent tent structure that'll be like guest housing for friends and family who decide to come out and spend the weekend with us. And our property goes on for about another 200 feet that way. And then we have about 60,000 more square feet at the bottom of the hill. So, making our way around to the cabin, as you can see, the front of the cabin is starting to come along. We've got a few decorations in place. Put one of my wood benches that I made up there, along with some thrift store finds, as well as some Pier 1 type bird houses, one of which another finch has decided to claim as her home. And the start of the shit and shower house. It's going to be designed as a wet bath with a composting toilet. It's roughly the size of one full-size pallet. It'll have an open-face door with a curtain. We're going to have a 12-volt shower system, and eventually, I've been back and forth on whether or not breaking down and buying the Zodi Extreme pressurized shower system, or just getting some copper pipe, putting a small fire pit next to it, and building a thermal siphon. We had our stairs and front facing put on the cabin so you don't see the cinder blocks. We did add extra cinder blocks for support. If we decide that we do want to keep the cabin at this location and not somewhere else on our property, I will go ahead and pour cement piers and make it more permanent. Right here we have our little cast iron bistro set. This is where we have our dinner. Now, as we make our way around the other side of the cabin, please excuse the mess, it's still a little hillbilly. As you can see the foundation. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 footings. I dig down, and below the dirt, there's 24-inch concrete support. Moving along the side, you can see that one of the shotgun holes I semi-repaired from the crazy son of a bitch that shot up our house, who is in jail. And the other window that he shot out, we decided to go ahead. Originally we were going to put the air conditioner in the wall, but due to the size of our tiny house, we decided to go ahead and just do it in the window, so that way we would have more wall space for hanging shelves and art once the walls are finished. Now on this one, the window frame was damaged pretty badly, so I just cut a piece of plexiglass and mounted it flush to the inside of the window frame, bolted it in, and went around it with vinyl caulking. Right up here, you can see our start to our solar system. We are starting out with the Harbor Freight 45-watt solar panels. Each panel is 15 watts. They come together at a coupling and go into the cabin there. We also have our electrical system presently hybrid. Due to the fact that we're running heavy loads, such as an air conditioner and mini fridge, we have in our tool shed, which was a reclaimed doghouse off of Craigslist that we got for free, we have a 1500 watt Champion generator. I have a heavy duty industrial grade extension cord going from the generator into the cabin. Now eventually currently I only have one outlet in the cabin, but eventually I will have 3, and I will have the other electrical accesses come from under the cabin and not in the side. Part of the reason why I went in and did this one in the side was because I wasn't really sure at the time where I was going with our electrical system. Now let's take a look inside. We have some solar power dragonfly lights to add some mood lighting when we're sitting out on the porch in the morning having our coffee, harassing the deer. And inside we have Princess waiting for us. Hi, Princess! Say hi to all of YouTube. You're famous. Yes, you are. Come on in. Take a look around. Oh, it's nice and cool in here. I'm glad we got this finished. The air conditioning, at least. So as you can see, we still have a lot of work to do. We're going to eventually extend the sleep loft here another 2 feet out. And then we'll have beadboard underneath here, tongue and groove beadboard. And then from where the loft extends out, all the way over to the other facing, we're going to do beadboard up into the ceiling. And then hang a couple deer skins. Presently, one of the things we got done this trip is for entertainment at night or when it's raining, what do? We're on a limited budget because, you know, we're not wealthy people. So I had this old movie screen that I found at Goodwill, and I have a cheap Walgreens Light Shift Light Blast movie projector. And we just hook it up to the iPad, pull the screen down, and we can project the movie. It only shows at about 300 DPI, hardly HD, but it'll serve its purpose until we can get the cabin finished, the walls up, and then maybe put a small 22-inch TV up there or something along that lines. On one of our first visits out, John installed this really cool bamboo. It's not cheap IKEA particle board. Fold-up table. This is where we'll have dinner when we want to eat inside, when it's nice and hot outside and we want to be cool indoors, with our new reclaimed air conditioner. So, we didn't pay anything for the air conditioner. It was given to us by a friend several years ago. And you can see what I was talking about, how I caulked up the window. The framing had been totally destroyed by the shotgun. So, I do have priced out having all the windows eventually replaced with double pane vinyl windows from Home Depot at about $80 a window. But this will work for now. It's not cold out. It keeps the cool in, keeps the bugs out, and works for me. Our walls. Now our walls are where we're spending a little bit of money. We originally talked about going knotty pine, tongue and groove, but it was going to be expensive. But we didn't want to go so cheap that it looks tacky. I've seen some tiny house videos where they put in drywall, and I'm sorry, a little plug out there to Deke Diedrichsen. I love the look of the wood. We decided to go with 1/4 inch thick birch plywood. And we're eventually going to stain the plywood and the beadboard all to match. In the workings is our kitchen countertop. It's been initially made out of reclaimed pallets and kind of given roughly a industrial country look. A couple weeks ago I made a matching shelf that I haven't stained or polyurethane yet, but we wanted to go ahead and get it hung because we're just staining polyurethane everything so it's nice and shiny. I like shiny things. We found this little rocket stove at the Goodwill for $3. It's from the 70s. It burns denatured alcohol. It's great for when you want to do just a little cooking indoors, and with it burning denatured alcohol, it burns at 99% clean and does not need to be vented, which is nice. It also doesn't quite burn as hot as propane, so it doesn't roast out the cabin. So if I don't want to go outside to make some coffee, I can make my coffee right here, which is always real nice. This is our latest dumpster dive find. It's a General Electric mini fridge. We found this in the trash in the alleys of South City. The only thing that is wrong with it is there is a dent on the door. Otherwise, the thing is practically brand spanking new. The things people throw away, I'll never understand. Now, here's where I'm talking a little bit about the hybridization of the solar system. This is where the 120 comes in, and how I have it presently set up. The solar is coming in from up here. This is all temporary and going to be changed as we still figure out our load needs, our amp hours, and the size of the battery bank we need. I absolutely love the Harbor Freight solar system. It is a great start out when you can get it on sale for $130 at Harbor Freight. The charge controller is a little less than to be desired. The charge controller is a little less than to be desired, so I ordered a new charge controller, which I'll get to in a second. So the solar comes down, goes to an initial charge controller that I bought, which we've recently just found out is malfunctioned. It's some Chinese thing that had high ratings on Amazon, but the USB ports were overheating and caused the entire charge controller to malfunction, and our system kept discharging and we couldn't figure out why. We also, less than desired for the Harbor Freight system, the batteries that Harbor Freight sells suck ass. You can get two 80 amp hour deep cycle marine batteries from Walmart, and that is what we're going to be switching to. I don't support Walmart, but hey, $80 for a deep cycle battery that's 100 and some volts or 100 and some amp hours per battery, I'll suck it up. Now, the 120 comes in through the wall right here, and how we have the hybridization system working is this charge controller then feeds to the batteries and then to the Harbor Freight charge controller, which controls our lights, USB ports. I can put a small inverter here. I have a larger inverter, but it's only a 400 watt inverter, and I should have went with the 3000, so I'll be switching to that here shortly. The 110, 120 comes down to this trickle charger for when we're not getting enough sun off the solar system. It's also nice because right now the air conditioner is running on 120 volt directly from the generator coming in from outside through this outlet, which this is done properly. I know some of you are probably going to give me shit for using an extension cord. I did use a contractor grade, and due to the mobility of the fact that this is a tiny house, it seemed like the most logical route to go. So then the trickle charger is an 8 amp charger, which will boost these batteries pretty quickly back up to about 14 volts. And then, boom, we're good to go. So the system is running both off of 12 volt and 120 integrated together in a safe manner. When I want to cut the 120 to the solar system, all I have to do is unplug the trickle charger. And over here, we have our present plumbing situation for indoors for cold water. There is no elements or anything to this, but the ceramic jar keeps this water ice cold, and you just push this, and we have a little wood sink that we're using for right now for washing dishes, our hands, or so on and so forth. And And that's pretty much about where we're at. One of the next things we're going to do is we're going to finish the walls next, and then the couch is going to be an extension of the countertop. So it's going to come straight down, over, and into an L shape into the door, to where it will look like the birch wood is spilling onto the countertop, and then down the side and spilling onto the top of the couch. And then we're going to make a matching coffee table that will actually set up here, in this little section right here, where there will not be padding on the couch, so that way we can do a step, 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 and up into the loft, and we will not need a loft ladder anymore, due to the fact that any type of loft ladder eats up a significant amount of square footage. And when you're living tiny, every little area counts. And of course, there'll be storage underneath the couches. One thing we thought about, due to the fact, if it's winter or we don't want to run outside, is have this section of the couch fold up and actually have a sealed composting toilet underneath inside the couch. So if we want to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, we lift up the couch and then boom, presto bango, there'd be a tiny composting facility inside the cabin that's like triple sealed. It'll have a lid on it, and then the lid of the toilet, and then the lid of the top of the couch coming down. So absolutely no smell will be vaping into the cabin. And that's where we're at. So I hope you've enjoyed our little visit, and hopefully next time when we get together, the loft will be extended, the walls will be done, and at least the couch framed out. And until then, me, John, and Princess Frostbite say bye-bye.